Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 93 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is, of course, going to be a revelation film. Even Eunice Watama, the man who portrays Chewbacca in the sequel, said that this entire movie is a I did not see this coming moment from start to finish of Episode 9. Now, on the other hand, we do know that J.J. Abrams wants to make this the darkest Star Wars film in the Skywalker saga's history, which is yet another goal that he sets out to complete for Episode 9. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the big plans by Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, and George, this is where things begin to get very intense for Episode 9. Now, specifically, it's described that during the rewrites of the film for the months of November and December of 2018, just late last year, is when George Lucas was significantly involved with the adjustments of the second and third acts of the movie. It's explained that one of the big changes that were made to the script in late 2018 is that the final scene will change how fans view the prequel trilogy era, and that this will all be done in a way that will also change how fans view a specific bloodline and vital pieces of Star Wars lore. It's explained that the last scene of the film was directed by George Lucas and takes place on a planet based from the original trilogy that is described to be very emotional as a moment for fans. The scene is also said to reveal a big revelation that will change the Skywalker saga in just one sequence that will leave fans talking about the film for years on end. Additionally, it's said that John Williams developed a special track for the last scene of the film that is said to be a mixture of many pieces of music of the Skywalker saga. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is taking many different risks, and that they are throwing in a lot of nostalgia into Episode 9 as well. And a lot of fans view that as also playing it safe, but also at the same exact time doing something brand new for a Star Wars film, right? So, at the end of the day, Episode 9, it's going to have a lot of revelations, but it's all about the last scene of the movie that is said to have the biggest revelation of course, the Skywalker saga, and the biggest revelation related to one of the sequel trilogy characters. That could either be Kylo Ren or Rey for all we know. Now, this is said to change how fans view the prequel trilogy era. Now, that is a big deal, and I'm not quite sure if that's going to be a good or a bad thing for the franchise. It's all a matter of how it's going to be done on the big screen and how it's going to resonate with the fans. That's really going to pretty much, form itself as either a positive or a negative experience for Star Wars fans. So, with that being said, the fact that it's going to change how fans view the prequel trilogy era is a big deal. It really is. It tells us that this revelation is going to be by far the largest revelation of the entire saga since 1977. So that's the thing here. The last scene of Episode 9 is the big important piece. Kevin Smith actually once described that the crew told him that the ending of Episode 9 will melt your mind. And what will actually melt our mind? Is it the environment? Is it something to do with the actual character that's involved? That's a big question open on the table for discussion. So the other piece that I do want to go over is, of course, how this is all said to have been done and directed by George Lucas besides J.J. Abrams of the last scene of Episode 9, which honestly is a great way to send off the Skywalker saga, right, before moving on to the new Star Wars trilogy, is to have George Lucas himself, the man who created this franchise back in '77, to direct and write the last scene of Episode 9. That would make perfect sense. So, this film really seems like it's going to have a lot of those twists and turns that will lead up to the ultimate revelation within, of course, the third act of Episode 9 in the last and final scene. Now, this was also to be a part of the rewrites of late last year. You guys may recall that in late 2018, there were a lot of rewrites that took place for The Rise of Skywalker, hence why there are a lot of reshoots in the beginning of 2019, and why some reshoots are taking place as we speak right now in September of this year. So, that movie, this movie actually does have a lot going for it. It has the potential to mark itself down as the best of the sequel trilogy without a doubt. I cannot wait to see exactly where Kylo and Rey are going to end up at the very end of this film, and exactly how that's all going to be utilized, into one massive Star Wars film. Even Kelly Marie Tran, by the way, she described that this movie is very, very long, hinting that this film is going to be the longest Star Wars film of the Skywalker saga. So we're not too far away from when tickets are going to go on sale, which is where we're going to learn about the running time of episode 9, so it's very likely that this could very well be a 2-hour and 50-minute movie, or maybe even a 3-hour film at that, very similar to how Endgame was treated, which honestly I think would be a great thing. I think it's needed in order to tell a lot of different storylines that's going around in the very end of the Skywalker saga, to get it done correctly, and to just really satisfy the fans around the world. So anyways guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.